Hello everybody, bang on time. So it's 8:32 p.m. here in Perth and it is 6 p.m. in India, and we're going to be joining in live with Mike Dooley. I am so happy today because I have been an ardent follower for years and years. When I was in New York attending the New York Film Academy and learning direction, I was introduced to his emails that he would send a lot of people, took from the universe. Totally unique thoughts. And I used to get these one-liners on my email, which a friend of mine told me about and signed me up for and said, okay, what are your 3 goals? And he put in my 3 goals. And then every day I would get an email that would just change the way I felt. It would change the tune of my day and it would make me so positive and upbeat. And it used to make me feel like I can just achieve and do anything today, and that would really change the tune of my day. So for like the last 10 years now, I've been following him, and finally I was able to email him and he said yes, and he's going to be on the live with us. He is New York's best-selling author for 2 of his books. I've read Infinite Possibilities and his other book, but I'm going to tell you all about him. Let me just read so I don't make any mistakes. So he's a metaphysical teacher, New York Times Bestselling author who has presented in 156 cities across 42 countries, speaking on life, dreams, and happiness. His notes from the universe, inspirational emails, are sent to over 1 million people, including me, in 182 countries, and Don Miguel Ruiz called him the messenger of truth, a gift for humanity, and he truly is. Mike is the author of 17 books and was featured in one of my favorite books, which is The Secret. In that, he introduced me to this phrase called thoughts become things. Isn't that so true? All our thoughts actually become our reality. Our thoughts affect our emotions, our actions, and everything. Anyways, it's time for me to bring him on, and I am so excited. I'm actually nervous as well because I can't tell you how good this guy is. He's a divine human being. Okay, let me see. Yes, Mike, I see you.
Hey, Aarti Chabria.
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation. I'm so blessed to be able to actually have this live chat with you today. I've literally been watching you in your videos, reading your emails, and I've been so, transformed for life after seeing everything that you teach, because it's so much from the heart that I have sometimes no words to express what I really feel about everything that you have to say about life, the universe, thoughts. It's just changed me, and so many people that I've told about you that, have also come to know about you.
It is an honor to be so appreciated by somebody as inspirational as yourself, Aarti. So the pleasure and honor is mine. Thank you so much.
Mike, I'm going to dive straight in. I know you have only half an hour. My first question to you is about why is it that like attracts like? Whenever in my life I've been in a situation where I'm feeling blissful, and blissful doesn't really mean that I have got a big sum of money or, I have won an award or something like that. It's not a physical, materialistic thing. Bliss is actually a feeling that I've even got when I'm on a beach in Goa. I have just dug my hands into the sand, felt the warmth, felt that breeze on my face, looked into the horizon and seen that orange sky, and it's just made me feel wow. And then that feeling has resulted in me getting calls, and that work has happened, assignments have come through, good news has come through, somebody's called me that I've waited for somebody's call for a very long time, that person's called me. So many series of so many good things have happened. And this usually happens when I'm feeling that bliss, and exactly the opposite when I'm feeling negative or angry or upset about something. there's a series of negative things that happen. So whether it is me, you know, missing a flight or spraining my ankle or, you know, something really not good, you know, happens for like and then I'm like, why is it that when something good's happening, everything's good, and when something bad's happening, it's a series and a chain reaction and a butterfly effect of everything bad? Why
Yes.
is it just like a law, like gravity, or is there something more to it?
Oh, it's as fundamental and profound as gravity. It is an immutable law that our thoughts become things. It's not a nice way of looking at life. It is the underlying operant that literally aligns the stars and puts us in a place of receivership for whatever we are putting out. Our thoughts have a reality and a life force all their own. Once we think them, they're on their own, and they're out there literally moving around the players and the circumstances of our lives as if on marionette puppet strings. And so it's been said by others, you know, we don't get what we most want. We don't get what we most need. We get more of what we are. And if we're putting out joy and we're putting out bliss, even if we have to fake it in the beginning, and of course there's always the space and the need to go within and find out why we might not be feeling as good as we could be feeling, given our dominion over all things. But whatever it is we're putting out, even if we have to force it in the beginning, begins literally resonating and electrifying the environment around us. The best metaphor, Aarti, is our nighttime dreams. They seem so real, like they're happening to us. But nobody would dispute that we are the creator. We are happening to them, even though in the dream it's lions and tigers and bears, oh my, and we're surprised, and there's gravity and there's a sunrise, but we're creating it all. And that's exactly what we do in the dream of here and now, and waking up to this truth that we can choose our thoughts changes everything.
What about our negative thoughts? So thoughts become things, and I'm hoping most of the positive thoughts become things. But what about these negative thoughts? Or what about the thoughts that don't become things? Where do they go?
Oh, some great talking points here. First off, yeah, the negative thoughts, all thoughts, negative and positive is just judgment. I mean, a thought is a thought. They all strive to become things. But let not our viewers panic right now, because when I realized the fundamental overpowering nature of all of my thoughts, I would panic, because I'm as fearful sometimes as negative. Even to this day, teaching this stuff my whole life, I can have a runaway train of fear. But Aarti, one of the greatest lessons I've learned in my life, it's as if our positive thoughts, that's just a judgment, but I'll explain. It's as if our positive thoughts are at least 10,000 times more powerful than our negative thoughts. And the reason this is the case is because we are divine beings. We are the eyes and the ears of the Almighty, come alive in the dream of life. There are absolute truths that hold up these confines, these spectacular jungles of time and space. They're immovable truths. And of those truths, being that we are of the divine, we chose to be here. We knew what we were doing. Objectives are being met. It's for the love of it, for the glory of it. It's for the adventure of it. And when we think thoughts, Aarti, in alignment with truth, and again, truth is absolute. It's not one thing for one person and another thing for another. There are different pathways to truth, and every path should be honored. But the truth is the truth, and when you think thoughts in alignment with truth, they become things so much quicker. Circumstances, best friends, clarity, healing, whatever you're dwelling upon in alignment with your divine, spiritual, holy nature, no religion in that, those thoughts become things quickly. So while our negative thoughts or thoughts out of alignment with truth also have a magnetism, it is much more difficult to make something out of alignment with truth, like, okay, I'm a dummy, I'm stupid, nobody likes me, I'll never make it work, I can't lose weight, I'll never make money. Those are lies. Those will always be lies compared to the absolute pillars that hold reality together, our divine, sacred beingness. So, yes, negative thoughts become things too. But it's much more difficult to have those manifest. Oh, we can do it, but it's much more difficult. And knowing this, of our innate inclination to succeed, a little bit of positivity every day, in spite of circumstances, will override an entire 18 hours of worry. My life is a testament to this. Oh, and the other question you had, Aarti, what about the thoughts that don't become things? Where do they go?
Yes.
Those, it's often a reply I hear from audiences, you know, if thoughts become things, Mike, is as predictable as gravity. What about those things of ours that have never seen the light of day, those dreams of ours? It's simple. We live on a linear timeline, or we think we do, a linear timeline where only one thing can happen at a time. I can only be in Orlando right now. You can only be in Perth right now. So the reason some thoughts don't become things, maybe ever, is because other thoughts of ours did. And it's the predominant thoughts and the thoughts that are most in alignment with truth and the thoughts that we feel most joyful and passionate about that win. And so the other thoughts, they maybe go on and create parallel probable realities, but this explains why some thoughts don't manifest, because other thoughts did. And it wasn't a matter of karma or fate or God deciding. It was just you and your thoughts.
Yeah, very often I feel that the thoughts that actually manifest are the ones that you feel very connected to, you know. So wanting something is different from really wanting it and feeling that, you know, if I get it, it's going to make me feel this way. And if you just want it because you feel that your parents want you to want it, or it is right, it is expected of you to want something and you want it, then that want is not really a wanting want. It's just a want. But if it's a wanting want, I think it just happens, you know?
Yeah, you said that so well. It's the emotion around a thought that makes it supercharged. And literally, I can think of times in my life when I was at the end of my rope, I was scared, I was brokenhearted, or the different challenges that we can face, when I would be doubled over in this like yearning of like, I want it so much. Oh my God. I mean, literally now, knowing this, when I think of the next thing or the next book I'm writing or whatever it is I desire, I will literally hunch over and just feel love and joy and just massive desire. And nothing could be more powerful.
Right. Is there a way that you suggest is the best way to creatively visualize to manifest a certain type of reality?
Yes, I do. I've been practicing this since I was a teenager, and that's many, many decades now.
I know you're the best person to explain this. That's why I'm asking you this very obvious question, because I want the viewers to hear it from you, you know?
Well, I'll try to go quickly. I have 9 guidelines that I think are all important. These are guidelines, they're not laws. The law is that our thoughts become things. That's immovable. Nothing can change that. It's the end-all be-all of living deliberately and enjoy your whole life. You are the master here. So the guidelines, and there are people who succeed without creative visualization because they naturally dwell with emotion on what they want. But number 1, and these are so simple, just do it once a day. Creative visualization is you imagining your desired end result. Do not imagine how you will get there. Do not imagine the cursed hows. I call them the cursed hows, the cursed whos, the cursed whens. Give that to divine intelligence. Your job is to clearly create a picture in your mind of your desired end result. The universe already knows ASAP, right away, do it fast.
Do you need to do you need to meditate and be in a certain frequency before you visualize, like totally be calm, focus on your breath, and then see that picture? Or can you just do it in the middle of the day? Close your eyes, see the picture. Close your eyes. I mean, isn't it that alpha state that actually is in line with the universe and makes things happen easier?
Highly recommended to just be in a place of calm, of some watching your breath for 30 seconds or a minute. But let me add, given our divine heritage, Aarti, I mean, the eyes and the ears of God Almighty come alive in the dream of life. There's so much wiggle room. You almost cannot get it wrong. People don't know how simple it is. People don't know these parameters. People think God is angry and life is a test. And so that's what they get. But when you realize what these immovable truths are, you realize there's so much latitude that if you just try to visualize, you're going to do it right. And if you can calm down ahead of time and get in that zone of truth, more power to you. But also, if you're in a hurry and you're scattered and you're sitting on the bus or waiting for the bus, if you can just close your eyes and create those pictures and you're in the beach at, Waikiki or Kauai, or that counts too. There's so much leeway.
But tell me something. Most people, when I've discussed this, tell me, Aarti, you're not imagining the exact detail. What color is that dress? What is the fragrance you're smelling? How is the sky? Is it about to rain? What is that visual that you are actually, visualizing? Be specific about every detail. If it's a yellow Lamborghini, imagine the yellow Lamborghini. But in your book, you say, be general and don't attach to these details. So there's a difference. What is the right thing?
It's a play with words there. You spoke it exactly right. Don't attach to the detail, but do visualize the details. And let me back up and put this in context. What all of us most want, Aarti, and everybody, zero exception, is joy and happiness. That's the ultimate end result. But then we think we have to micromanage getting there. So I have to meet Bob, who knows Julie, and I get the audition, and then I write the book, and then I have the best publisher and a super agent that gets me a big advance. You don't have to micromanage that stuff. You tell the universe joy, or big broad brush wealth and abundance, friends and laughter, a rocking sexy relationship, health and healing. You give the divine intelligence the broad picture, including happiness. It knows how, when, where, who. It knows all the logistics. It'll make it happen. And this way, instead of you saying, my next book will be a bestseller and then I'll live happily ever after, if you insist and attach to details like that, you close the door on an infinite number of other ways the universe could have made you fulfilled, happy, with friends, financially well off, because you said it has to be this way. And maybe this way doesn't coincide with your other dreams or your other interests or your passions, or maybe it's what you thought your mom or your dad wanted, but it wasn't really what you wanted. But now you're saying it's this way. You don't even know what you're up against, because we think 60,000 thoughts a day. We're conditioned. We have invisible limiting beliefs. So just tell the universe happy, and the universe can go in and out of all kinds of circumstances and limiting beliefs to bring you happy. But when it comes time to do the creative visualization of the end result, Aarti, this is where you visualize the details that you feel would make you happy. You attach to happy, but you don't attach to the details. Or you attach to wealth and abundance, but you don't attach to the book. Or you attach to a rocking travel partner. Oh my gosh, so much juicy fun. But you don't insist on who. And then the universe will pick the right person, the right book, the right project. But when you visualize, okay, visualize writing the book. Visualize the person of your dreams. Visualize those details to get yourself, so excited, emotionally charged, because that's what makes the manifestation happen faster. Visualize all of the details, but do not mistake the details for the big picture end result. A rocking travel partner,
something better can happen.
And then
something better can happen.
Yeah. That's the other way to phrase it. By not attaching, you are not limiting, and you are leaving room for even better than you knew to ask for. So we're keeping all options on the table. It might be your book, and it might be your Romeo or your Juliet. It might be your idea of how you're going to get there, but you're going to surrender to the path while insisting on the general end result. And you're going to make the boring general end result exciting emotionally by visualizing the details, but not making the details the end result. So,
Right. So if I want that yellow Lamborghini, you're saying don't need to imagine that it's a yellow and what the car is, but the feeling of having that car, that emotion, the happiness, it's right here. So just feeling that. And while you're visualizing, I think if people were to work even on their breath, and actually, because me being an actor, we use our breath in every scene. So if you're angry, you know how it's going to be. It's going to be a different kind of breath. If you're sad, it's all breathing, right? And if you're
yeah.
excited, it's again your breath is like. So if you were to actually feel those emotions while visualizing, I think that would really make it manifest in sooner than later, right?
You totally got it. Visualize the details, just don't attach to them. You can visualize
Okay.
the yellow car, just don't attach to the yellow car. Let it be a car that might exceed the yellow car.
Right. Now, in a situation like this where we have a pandemic and most people have lost somebody in their family, and there's so much fear, negativity, anxiousness, people are panicking, vaccinations are out but they're out of stock, beds are not available, oxygen, there's a lack of oxygen, oxygen's being airlifted to reach different hospitals. There's a lot of grief India is going through. And at this time, people cannot be in that positive state to be able to attract positive situations and circumstances in their life. But when you're in this negative state, it's when you need it the most, Mike. And this is the biggest reason I have you here with me today, to tell people that even in this negativity and this, feeling of down and low frequency, how can they visualize when they're actually having these physiological symptoms, where your heart is beating fast, your breath is not allowing you to calm down, your thoughts are racing, every news channel you watch is giving you bad news, WhatsApp messages are doing it. And if that doesn't do it, you're getting YouTube videos. And, if not that, you're talking to a friend who's ruining your entire state of mind, telling you about something negative. You can't run away from it. How do you run away from this negativity? How do you close your doors to it and open the doors for positivity in this situation where close people are concerned?
This is exactly where your breathing technique comes into play. And this is also exactly when you want to really remember the truth, that everything has meaning. Everything is being played out in the heart of God right now. And even though we can't see that, and even though there's a tinge of panic to everything, we have to realize that there is an order and that there is a healing, actually, that's transpiring before our very eyes. It might not look like it, but God didn't make a mistake, if you will. And everything is playing to a greater good. So in the moment, when most overwhelmed for your own well-being, one of the best go-to solutions I have found is immediately look for somebody else to console, to help, to comfort. This is not necessarily a time to dive into creative visualization. If the house is burning down, I think you need to adjust the flames. But look to somebody near you who is worse off than you. And suddenly you see yourself objectively because you're seeing somebody else and you see yourself in them. And while you're giving comfort and being of service, which is just pure love, you are receiving that which you most need and most wish to receive. As we said at the outset here, that you get more of what you are, not what you need, not what you want. You get more of what you are. So by putting that love there, being of service, remembering that this is playing itself inside of the heart of God, and just because we can't see the order doesn't mean it's not there. 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time, this too shall pass. My sympathies to everybody in these very painful times that we live in.
So is there you're right, of course, if your house is burning down, you can't be, creatively visualizing at that point. But are there certain things that you could do to shift your frequency? Because I've heard you can fake it till you make it. And this I'm saying purely for people who can, fake this energy, even if they're feeling down and they just want to sit down like that, where, they actually change that state of being and probably listen to a soothing song or watch a film, distract themselves from the current situation to try and, make them feel better and cut off watching news or talking to that friend who's only going to complain. Just give some time to yourself every day that you can recenter. And you
Yeah.
can be that point of strength and source of good energy for the people around, rather than, hearing that negativity and then talking that same negative language. And
Oh,
then it
yeah.
just becomes like a whole cycle. And people think COVID is viral. It's energy that's the most viral, right? Your negative energy is so viral that it leads in a series of negative things around you. Your positive energy is so viral that it leads in so many positive things that happen.
Yes.
So they
Yes, yes,
can.
yes. For those of us blessed enough to not be in the inferno right now, all that you do to bring about peace within and to not feed the flames of despair and complain and criticize, and further to the capacity that it's within you, see not only yourself thriving in your inner window, but see those in pain right now. It's past, they're okay, loved ones, family members, countrymen. Imagine too that they're doing well, because when we think thoughts of other people, whether
Oh,
they're in a
yeah.
household or when we're thinking thoughts of somebody across the planet, those thoughts are, as we said, real. They have a life force, they have an energy, they are received. And so if it's a dispute you're having with somebody, or somebody's going through COVID or cancer, by sending out that love, whether they consciously acknowledge it or are even aware of it, it is received. They know they're not alone. They know that they are being thought of. And every bit of love that goes into the world makes it a better place. So for those of us on the outside of the house, while it's burning down, peace, love, harmony, and as simplistic as it may seem, hold those loved ones or those countrymen in mind, see them with a smiling face, see them beyond the disasters, see the headlines in your mind that the recovery has been astounding, that the healing is everywhere, that people are living joyful lives again, they're out celebrating, going to the movies and all of that stuff. It's received, it makes a difference. As we individually create our own realities, so do we collectively. And this is where those on the outside of the burning house can make a powerful difference to those now dealing with the crisis inside.
Right. So when you're actually dealing with a situation where you are feeling down, sad, upset, angry, is it good, you feel, to share your emotions with a friend or a family member, or is it going to fuel this reality and make it worse?
Yeah, it can do both. This kind of falls into the question about the art of life. There's absolutely a place and a time to share and speak and grieve and complain, and if you have a partner, to let them know how they're getting on your nerves. But at the same time, oh my gosh, we can sense, and you phrased the question well, I know you're aware, that in the spirit of sharing, we can actually end up blaming, and it's not about being right and wrong, but suddenly we take it there, and so it's a very delicate line. I would generally say only with the closest of friends, or those people in your life most immediately affected by that which you need to share, should you share. And usually you should only share just to make the point, and then you've made your point. Maybe they'll comment, maybe they won't, and now you need to come to terms with it, because to continually bemoan and complain is not, it goes way beyond the otherwise important therapy of expression. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy to constantly point fingers and irritate that which is bothering you and other people. So it's not a yes or no answer, Aarti. It's the art of life, and we have to carefully choose and measure what we say to who and when, but generally keep it within. I used to be afraid to fly. I went through a spell in my life from mid-20s to mid-30s where suddenly I was afraid of flying on airplanes. And I would want to tell everybody on the plane, sitting next to me, the
God,
flight
I've been
attendant.
through that. I
Do
know
you think we're
exactly
good?
how it feels.
Oh, but I'll tell you, I got past it. And the way I got past it, I did not indulge and tell everybody, do you think we're going to die? Are you scared too? Are we going to make it? It's like just, yeah, I would tell my mom, I would tell some close friends. If I needed a therapist, I would have gotten one and told the therapist. But by not talking about it, I didn't reinforce it. And whenever I got scared, I would logically and intuitively remind myself of the truth. The truth will set us free every single time. No one dies before their time. But my irrational fear of flying would imply that I could just be a statistic and the whole plane's going to fall apart and my whole life is going to be lost. But that does not hold itself up to the light of truth, that I am here of God, by God, pure God. I am here for a reason. I am guided. I am loved. And when it is my turn to go, when one door closes, another one opens, and it would be divinely guided. So and then that was intuitively. Then logically, like planes almost never crash. And then when they do, not everybody dies, not always. And so I would intuitively and logically fight or counter my irrational fear of flying, and it completely went away, thank God, because it's enabled me to have all these world tours and speak all over the planet. So we can get past that. You can get past that. But don't talk too much about it, except for when you're helping other people like this.
I feel I keep certain things to myself because, like, for example, maybe like spraining an ankle, which happened recently. And it happened, of course, when I was feeling very negative about all the news that I was watching and all the things that were happening in India. And I didn't want to tell my cousin sister about it. I didn't want to tell anybody, even close to me about it, because I was like, it's going to fuel that reality and make it worse. Instead, why don't I imagine that I'm totally fine, I'm running around, and then it made me feel heavy also not talking about it. The only person who knew was my husband. And I thought, why not journal it, write it down and talk about it, because I have so many things I want to do. I want to go to the gym. I want to keep fit, and I thought maybe this is going to help. And it helped. It let me vent all my feelings. And I went to a doctor. It was, my treatment is on. But at the same time, I didn't make things worse. So when you have to complain and you want to talk about something that is making you feel really down, don't spoil somebody else's mood and tell them the intricate details about how badly it's paining you or how bad it is for you. Journal it, write it down, and avoid that negativity from spreading, and work on it. Try to get it better yourself, right? That's what I thought helped me a lot.
Very good. Very good advice. I do the journaling as well. It's very powerful.
Yes, Mike, I wanted to know something. When someone asked you, what is your biggest achievement today? I think this will be the last question because we're running out of time now. But yeah, so when someone asked you what is your biggest achievement, you actually said it was leaving your job as an international tax consultant with PwC, one of the big fours. And how can that be your biggest achievement, leaving your large salary and all of that? And I especially ask you this because today with COVID, people are actually starting from zero. Their businesses are down since 1.5 years. It's like this whole 1.5 years didn't exist. And you actually made a conscious decision and left your job to start from zero. So how is that your largest achievement?
Well, I think, and I share and teach that, in my view, we live in a very primitive time, Aarti. Spiritually speaking, we are caveman, cavewomen, hardly aware of the real truth about the nature of reality. And we therefore behave like lemmings, marching towards the edge of the cliff to throw ourselves off. Why? Because the person in front of us did. And so at that point in my life, I was in my late 20s. And I had a really solid, really great career with Pricewaterhouse. I had lived overseas in the Middle East, New York City, Boston, Florida.
Wow.
But it was not what I wanted. I wanted a leg up in the business world, to learn the ropes and to be gone. I thought something would come along and steal me away, and it would be really clear, and the yellow brick road would appear, and I would know what my destiny is, and nothing happened. And it was just going to be one more day like the last day. And I remember thinking that if I don't make something happen, it's not going to happen. But making something happen meant getting out of line. and letting the lemmings march off with their six-figure salaries, 30 plus years ago, while I sat on the sidelines with no salary.
What do you
That
really
was
mean by lemmings
really,
march off, Mike? Sorry, I'm cutting you because I really want the audiences to get what you're saying. What do you mean by lemmings march off? This phrase is new to me.
There's an expression or a school of thought. There's a little creature called a lemming. A lemming. Okay. You can Google it. It's like a little gopher. And sometimes the lemmings all come out at spring from their underground holes, and there will be literally lemmings as far as you can see. And if something panics them, they stampede like a herd of buffalo, and they are known to stampede right off the edge of a cliff. And so it's an often used teaching point here in the States. Don't be like a lemming, just mindlessly following the people in front of you because that's what they're doing. Think for yourself. And so that was the first time in my life, to such a major degree, I decided to not do the conventional. I decided to not follow. I decided to leave the job behind. I decided to start over, not even in public accounting. I was a chartered accountant, certified public accountant. It was like, not who I am, and if I don't leap now, and leap is not meant to be like a lemming, but if I don't do something now, it's just going to get harder. And so that opened the door to infinite possibilities. I became an entrepreneur.
Weren't you scared leaving behind such a good job? I mean, my husband's an international tax consultant and he's a chartered accountant. He was so happy to hear I'm chatting with you, and you've been there and done that. But
oh yes, it's terrifying. But it built up. I thought I would leave in a year. But by the time I was done with foreign assignments and being transferred around the world, which was all very exciting, it had gotten large. My discontent was greater and greater. And I finally got to a point where the fear of staying another year was much greater than the fear of leaving. I mean, the fear of perhaps not catching my star and just being left behind with the lemmings actually became very palpable. So it was like it became scary to stay in my mind, and only when I really knew it was time, I gave my resignation, I quit, I sold my condominium in Boston, and then it got really scary. But within a few months, I had a t-shirt business that turned into a gift business that turned into what I'm doing today, 30 plus years later. But Aarti, you know what? I have to go. I promised your viewers at the outset my 9 guidelines for creative visualization. So what if I send those to you in the next hour, and you can post them somewhere or share them however you like, because some may just be aware that I didn't get to do what I said I was going to do. And for now, I've got to sign off.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure the people they've taken so much from this lovely chat, and it really helps them be more, in a positive mindset so that better things happen for them. Thank you.
It was an honor. I'm inspired by you. Thanks so much for including me in this broadcast, Aarti.
Thank you. And all of you that are not following Mike, please go follow him. He's on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. Or just go to tut.com, TUT.com. Right? See
Bye.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. So, people, I've had so many lovely questions that have come in. I've not been able to finish asking all of them, but never mind. They're going to be lots more that I'm going to actually chat with you on Secrets of a Victorious Mind. Today we've had Mike Dooley, and our next guest is very much from India, Himanshu. I'm really looking forward to it. So all of you that have tuned in, this is going to happen on the 15th, I think at 12:30 p.m. I'm not sure, but I'm going to post it. So keep an eye for my next post, and I'll catch you there. Thank you for joining in. Lots and lots of love. Please don't watch negative news all the time. I mean, be aware, keep a certain time in the day that you want to catch up with it, but full day, just don't keep on being in that cycle. Shift, do something that is going to relax you, or, just distract, watch a movie, hear a song, learn singing a song, do anything, but change your energy so that better things happen. And I think the actual antidote for negativity is creativity. So do something creative that'll make you feel better, whether it's reading a book or whether it is dancing on a song or recording a video. Don't worry about judgments. People will judge you no matter what you do. अच्छा करोगे तो जज करेंगे लोग, बुरा करेंगे तो भी, they'll just judge you for no reason. तो मतलब आप ठीक हो तो आप लोगों को हेल्प करो और अपने आप को एक पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट में रखो, राइट? थैंक यू, लॉट्स ऑफ लव, बाय.